In this video, we will be discussing shipping and the creation of invoices either based on a picking ticket number or a sales order number. So in order to actually do shipping and create invoices in Aria, you will need to be in the transactions link on the system. Then I'm going to double click on the accounts receivable system, which is the system that's responsible for creating invoices and maintaining customer balances. Then I'm going to use this program, which is Invoice a sales order. Once you open the screen, the system confirms with you the invoicing date of the merchandise, which actually is tied to the general ledger calendar. As you can see on this system, this date is not allowed because simply the administrator have closed this period for me, so I will have to use a different date, and the date I can use in this system is actually 2007. It's fine. Then once we pass the date, we get to the main screen that's responsible for creating the invoices. Now, we have more than one way to create invoices. You either base your invoice on the sales order number, and this means, for example, if the customers ordered 10 pieces, you picked 8, then at the time of shipping you decide to pick to send or ship the entire 10. So this is a problem. So you might end up shipping on the system more than what you actually packed in the merchandise. So the system does not allow you to use the order number for shipping unless if there is no picking ticket number associated to the sales order. The picking ticket functionality is optional on Aria. If you have a small business and you're actually kind of shipping everything complete, you can skip the picking operation. You can just simply create your sales order, print it, fax it to the warehouse, and they can use this as the picking and packing document. But once you've decided to go through the picking allocation, there is no the picking process, there is no way to invoice except by using the picking ticket number. So in this situation right now, just going to jump to the picking ticket screen or field. You're going to type 03, I forgot what's the picking ticket number, and we can use this one. What happens is that the system, once you do select your pick ticket number, displays the order information on the screen. It tells you that this pick ticket or this order right now contains one pick ticket. So this is why we see one line. There is no store number, and if the customer, of course, PO number is written, it will show over here. And if I click on header, I see everything I entered on the sales order pulled for me onto the invoice. You have the ability to change a few things, like on the time of shipping, we decided to change to net 45 days, for example. Anything else like dates, special instructions for packing, things of that sort. Then I have a chance over here to go into the details to further change transactions or quantities on the invoice. So, for example, let's say that we picked those 10 pieces and we sent the pick ticket to the warehouse. Warehouse replied back, we only have 9 pieces in the size 2X. So I'm just simply modifying the number, pressing enter. System confirms with you that and will ask you this question. We have a remaining balance of 1 piece on that quantity. What are you planning to do with it? Are you going to back order it, ship it later? If that's the situation, I would say no, do not cancel the balance, leave that 1 piece open. If not, I would say yes, cancel the balance, I'm never going to ship that piece. System adjusts the numbers for you. And what you can do over here is you can do any kind of change if there is any other line number that you want to modify and so on. If you would like to assign a reason for that cancellation, you can say just short, for example, and you can add codes to this at any time. And so this is how you control everything that you have on the invoice. With some setups, you should be able to also change the prices, change the discounts. It depends on how the administrator set up your system. Once we confirm the details of the invoice, I will just simply go to the charges pad, the charges tab, and over here I will put my freight charges, $35. This guy is entitled for 10% discount as we talked for the customer. If you want to change that, you can. I will also adjust the total weight and a number of cartons if you wish. You have the ability to enter a COD tracking number, a bill of lading number, and tag numbers are actually updated through the package list screen. If this is factored by somebody else, you have the ability to change the factor over here. If this is non-factored, you have the ability to remove the entire thing. Then I am just going to simply save. And before I save, let me recap what we did. So what I simply did, I selected the pick ticket, I went directly to the header tab, just review the information and change something only if I need to change. I go into the details, all the quantity here is pulled for me from the picking ticket. I only need to change whatever needs to be changed only. Then I'm going to the charges, I am putting my freight charges and other information like the weight and the cartons, and I just simply save. So actually, once you save, the system is going to confirm with you that now we're creating one invoice with total pieces this much and so on. Then I'm going to click on proceed. It gives you the invoice number and it asks you the standard question if you want to enter or type any kind of notes. So actually what I did, I entered the pick ticket, I reviewed the information, I went to the charges, entered the freight charges and number of cartons, and I saved. If you know upfront that there is no need for you to change anything on the order itself, you can always skip all of those steps. Just type the pick ticket number, go to the charges, add your extra charges and save. And this will create the invoice for you. Now, I'm going to talk about another case and another scenario in this screen. I'm going to use the last order I have, which is a multi-store order, as you can see. Now, with multi-store orders, Aria automatically allows you to skip the pick ticket number because we know that there is a pick ticket number there. So in this order, you can see that you have orders that are going for the entire account. Then you have order that's going, or this is actually a total of store number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines for 4 orders. They total to 480. Every time you highlight one of the stores here, you will be able to see the pick ticket number, the related picking ticket number on top. So actually what the system is doing is that it's checking. If there is a picking ticket number, it will allow you to bypass, but will internally using, bypass entering a pick ticket number, but will internally using that pick ticket number in order to do our invoice. Exactly like what we did on the regular order. Right? I will just simply highlight my store number 1, review the header. If I need to change anything, review the details. If I need to do anything, go to the charges, enter my charges, then go back again to list, highlight my order number 2 or my store number, line number 2, which is store number 3 in this case. Same thing. Here, store number 3 is not ready, or line number 3, which is store number 4 is not ready to be shipped right now, so I'm going to uncheck it. I'm only shipping this and this, and I'm also not shipping store number 2 for you. Okay. So I simply have 2 stores to be shipped out with the total of this much, and once you save, the system is going to give you the invoice numbers and ask you the standard note message if you want to enter any kind of notes related to the sales order. So this is how you create orders for, invoices for either single or multi-store numbers with using the order number and the picking ticket number. In some situations, you might want to void an invoice for some reason, like we created an invoice by mistake, or you've created the invoice by mistake without putting the correct freight charges or something like that. And this is a function that's available on the system. For security purposes, we're sorting or we're forcing the user to void one by one. So this is the program that we need to use. It's simply located also under the transactions or accounts receivable, and I am double clicking on invoice. The program simply asks you for the invoice number that you need to void. I'm going to choose the last one down. As you can see, the status of this invoice is complete. It's shipped. it's shipped on this date, and here's the information. And if for any reason you would like to void the invoice, you just need to click on that red X on top. System is going to confirm with you the invoice number that you need to void there. And are you sure? I'm going to say yes. It will ask you for the void date, and once you pass by the void date, it will allow you to actually so it will display this message: the invoice has been voided, and you will notice that the status of the invoice on top changes into void. Now there are some restrictions, of course, for voiding invoice. The invoice must not be paid by the customer. This is the only restriction that's related to voiding the invoice. Once the invoice is voided, system automatically puts the inventory back in the warehouse and adjusts the accounts receivable balance for this customer. So this is it regarding creating the invoices and actually voiding the invoices if you need to do so.